This cozy, creamy soup is a perfect blend of fall flavors and supercharged health benefits, featuring butternut squash, acorn squash, and MCT oil from C60 Power cinnamon. We're going to use those ingredients to create a comforting dish with a hint of spice, topped with cinnamon toasted pumpkin seeds for crunch. It is a bowl of bliss. The other things that we're adding into this delicious soup is a little bit of chicken stock. You can also use veggie stock if you want to make this a vegan meal. We have some coconut milk. We have, of course, salt and pepper to taste. You can even add in a little bit of cayenne if you like some heat, like I do. And then Ceylon cinnamon, which is a great cinnamon for amping up not only the flavor, but also the nutritional value. And of course, we would not be complete without pepitas. Pepitas, AKA pumpkin seeds. Now, these are great to throw in anything. We're going to toast these up in a pan, and then we're going to drizzle them with our favorite C60 MCT coconut cinnamon oil. Whew, it's so good, it's so delicious, and it's going to make it so fragrant. These little pepitas are going to turn into delicious crunch on top of our soup. Okay, so we're going to heat this up over medium heat. First, I'm going to add in the squash. Just going to scoop out this delicious acorn squash, which is very high in nutrition, and it's actually a great filler for soup because it's a pretty cheap squash to buy, and it doesn't really taste like much. It takes on the flavor of whatever you put in it. Now, butternut squash is a lot sweeter than acorn squash, but we're going to use an immersion blender to blend this up nice and well. We have our delicious butternut squash that we're going to put in there, chicken stock or veggie stock, and our coconut milk, which, as you've seen, can be a little coagulated, but it will heat up and then we'll blend it up nicely once it's warm. Before we put in the spices, I like to blend it up a little bit with my immersion blender. And if you don't have an immersion blender, you can blend this. I would let it all cool down first, blend it first, and then throw it in a pot. All right, so I'm gonna put a little cinnamon, a little bit of pepper. Again, you can put cayenne pepper if you like, and a little bit of salt. And then we're gonna blend it up again. There's our soup. And we're just gonna let it heat up. And while we're waiting for it to heat up, we're gonna make some pepitas. We're gonna put them on high heat with a little bit of salt. And we're gonna dry toast them over high heat and let them get nice and crispy. So we're gonna dust these with a little bit of cinnamon. Those pepitas, which are nice and warm now. Just a little dusting. There's already some salt in there. And drizzle it with some C60 cinnamon coconut MCT oil. And those are going to go on top of our soup. Yum. It smells so good. Oh my gosh. All right, so I snuck a little bit of cayenne pepper in here while you guys weren't looking. So it's going to be a little bit spicy, and it's nice and warm. Look at that consistency. So that's about the consistency you want in a soup. You don't want it thicker than that. You don't want it thinner than that. Oh my goodness, beautiful. This is gorgeous. Look at that soup. Now, the only thing left to do is sprinkle a couple little pepitas right in the middle. And you have a delicious, fragrant C60 cinnamon, butternut squash, and acorn squash soup.